Everyone's like, oh, look, here comes Pensy Joe bringing the Pennsylvania stuff because really test LED in the headlight, but we'll take this shit quite well by all. Regular combination, she's all that Sheet at 10. Proceed to 15. Hey everybody, it's Pensy Joe back again for another update. It's been a while. For the past couple of months now, I have been on and off on projects. I didn't record everything that I did, unfortunately. Right here in front of you, this is like a couple months ago with my East Tennessee and Southern Virginia USRA Heavy Pacific, or the P-43 class from the game Railroader. And already I did some touch-up paints and patches. Here I am tearing apart the reed switch. It wasn't really working right. I wanted to upgrade to TCS WOW sound as per usual. It was a Paragon 2 model. When I first got it, it had a lot of clicking sounds and it was a little jittery. It still kind of is jittery. I kind of found that there was a bit of a axle gear crack. So in the meantime, I used some really good strong glue, or like plastic cement kind of glue, to really hold the gear together until I can decide to figure out how I'm going to tear this thing apart or have somebody to help me tear it apart to put some replacement gears on it. I got 2 sets of replacement gears for every single plastic gear in the model, so this thing will last for a long time. But the problem is I don't have an axle wheel gear set. I got axle gears, but I don't know how to get it off and put a new one on, so I'm probably going to ask for help on that one at some point. But tender was being torn apart in terms of getting the board out. I had to replace those speakers. I reused speakers from the Athearn Genesis yellow box F7s, and I used that and I glued it to the ceiling of the tender. And here I am just soldering soldering the wires that I took apart for this Paragon 2 USRA Heavy Pacific. And I'm not going to do a video on how to do TCS WOW for this. I think I did enough TCS WOW videos for Broadway models to really bring it home for how to do these things. I'm just going to show like how I did it for this model. I'm not going to explain in depth, how to do it and stuff like that. I mean, it's really easy to tell where each wire goes to which when you take the shell off the locomotive and you look at the back right there near the end of the cab. As you can see, I'm just adding some firebox flicker LEDs, and yes, they are 3mm LEDs, are pretty big. I came back to this. I opened the model up again because when you certain LEDs, I guess it's like a path of least resistance kind of problem. So the headlight and the firebox light did not like to work at the same time. Here's the locomotive back together. I did some extra like paint details by painting the molded in pipework on the smoke box black. I thought it was a little bit too bare, and I also painted over where they had where they're supposed to have the builder's plates, unless I find decals that will fit on that one. This is a club project. This was my first time doing a Kato Atlas GP 7-9. This is a Clinchfield one. It used to be 902, and then I had to do patchwork to make it number 900. This is my first time trying to do this kit, especially with the scale sound speakers. It is really tight, especially on the long hood end. Like, it is very tight. You really have to you're really gonna have to experiment a bit on how to do this. Now, there's the original decoder that the club had in this model. It was just a Digitrax sound decoder. I'm like, yeah, it was not that. Sound quality was not as good. No, I kind of poo-pooed on soundtracks in the past, and I think the problem that I have with soundtracks is just I think it's actually not really the sound files are that I have an issue with. It's the sound quality of the speakers, especially in stock Athearn Genesis models. I don't know what it is, but actually the soundtracks files are actually pretty good. I mean, going back to what we got here, these scale sound speakers are fantastic. When I put the shells on, and this is me just doing some terrible LED work because I wasn't sure how I was going to do this. Later on, so there's like these two like clear stalks, like light piping stalks that the Kato GP7s have. I basically just trimmed them all the way down to where the number boards and the headlight are, and then I used like very small surface mount LEDs, and I just shoved them up above between this gap that the clear plastic, the light piping clear plastic, and the car body of the shell is. I just let it go in there and just use some like electrical tape to just hold it in place so that it points downwards and it gives a nice glow into the light piping so that the headlight shines brightly in the number boards as well. So I was really happy with that result. I'm not doing that weird gluing of the 3mm and 5mm LEDs anymore. And I was able to fix the I did my best to try and fix the handrails on these. These were used models that were donated to us, and they were kind of a crappy shape. But I also did some number boards for the first time. They are not the easiest. I forgot what the name of the brand was. It was not K4 or I forgot who does the number boards. It wasn't theirs either because their number board like decals are more durable than the Clinchfield locomotive ones. It's like a specific like Clinchfield one. I forgot what the brand was, but they are easily breakable and they were not the easiest to. It's not easy to slide decals on decals. All right, I'll say that for sure. And I'm pretty sure anybody else who's done this kind of work before, you know what I'm talking about. Here's another Clinchfield locomotive. This is number 800. This used to be 809. I redecaled it because we already have an 809. And this is an Athearn Genesis yellow box. They're kind of hard to find, and it kind of bugs me that Athearn does not make Clinchfield stuff as much anymore, if not at all. Especially for like their Athearn Genesis line, especially their F units. Like you could do the black ones and stuff like that. It kind of sucks. Anyways, I'm doing more of my freelance railroad locomotives. These are 3 former Pennsy Kato Atlas again GP7s, and I love these things. That's how you know I chose these to do my currently I have 3 GP9s, and they run the short hood forward kind of deal with the bell. I've already painted one of them. There's a GP9 bell kit that will look like this when you're done. I really liked how they turned out, and I also got like this, I think I forgot what it was. It was like horns for like Atlas Kato models, and I just got these like Nathan M3s, and what I did is I just trimmed the bottom, and I just used some quick cement or quick set glue that's like really strong, and that's how if you've seen my video, I have a running video where I did I did a running video with them, and they had number boards and stuff with decals and whatnot. It was pretty cool. This is another Atlas Kato model that I'm doing for my museum. This is a project where I wanted to get the Clinchfield's only FP7 done, and I did some touch-up paint after this. I hand painted this. So that yellow stripe, I painstakingly tried to do it. And I think on this side it looks a lot better that I did the hand painting. Same thing with the window frames and stuff like that, and the windshield wipers. This used to be a dual headlight locomotive. I basically use an X-Acto kit knife to just take the clear headlight that it originally came with and just tried to make it as flat as possible, so to make it into a single headlight, because I really like the separately applied details that somebody already did on this. So I'm like, well, that saves me a lot of pain, so I'm just gonna buy this and then do the paint work and details on it. And that's pretty much it done right there with the Clinchfield decals when the F units were all being painted black. Here, right here is one of the passenger cars I was working on. These are Roundhouse Pullman Palace cars. And when I was testing these cars, I added weights in them. Those are bulbs, and that's a lot of bulbs. They were causing power, like, draw up the wazoo of my club layout. And I'm like, well, that sucks. So I had to snip the wires after this. I was showing a friend this one time, like, hey, do you know what's going on? Why am I having issues? And they were being relettered to East Tennessee and Southern Virginia. This is one of the coaches that I have. It's the closest I could get. I know there's a kit out there. There's like a kit set that you can get out there that looks even closer to the ones in the game, the Palace cars. But I went with these by Roundhouse, and I have to say they look really nice. I'll just have to do some lighting in the future. And right here is the finished version of number 1200 from earlier in the video. I manned up and I decided to do marker lights and the rear marker lights in the rear headlight. Now the rear headlight on the Broadway limited Paragon 2s, they never had any. None of the generations of the USRA Heavy Pacifics or the Light Pacifics had the rear headlight, so I had to use like a brass kit from Cal's. I think Cal's I forgot. Anyways, Cal scale, I think brass parts, and what I did is I just painted it, used a pin vise to drill a hole and put a surface mount LED in there, and it looks pretty good. And then right here is my PRR K4s by Bachmann. I did something that they really should have from the factory. Painted tender decks and painted roofs for the cabs. And then here's also the other K4 that I did as well. They're going to be my next project. I'm kind of slowing down again. I was doing a lot, and unfortunately I didn't record all of it because I just didn't really want to. It was just for me to keep going on and keep going while I was just burnt out from doing stuff, pretty much. So, and then there's one of my FM units that I'm gonna put a Tsunami decoder at some point. And yeah, there's just so much more I gotta do. Anyways, guys, this is Penchy Joe signing out again, and we'll got more coming in the future. Bye now.
By the shore, hear the mighty rush of the engine, hear the lonesome hobo squall, riding through the jungle on the Wabash Cannonball. Now here's to Daddy Claxton, may his name forever stand, and may be remembered in the courts throughout the land. When his earthly race is over, let the curtains round him fall. We'll carry him home to victory on the Wabash Cannonball. Oh, listen to the jingle, the rumble, and the roar, as she glides along the woodland to the hill and by the shore. Hear the mighty rush of the engine, hear the lonesome hobo squall, riding through the jungle on the Wabash Cannonball.